morning and welcome to Wake Up to Wellness with Michelle Christman, and I'm so excited you're with us today. We're here to empower you, your friends, your family, and your loved ones to be healthy and well naturally. And the one thing that I love about health is that you are made to be well. You are made to function at a high level of health and vitality so that you can be the best you ever. And today we come upon more stresses in the body's ability to adapt. There are 3 different types: physical, chemical, and emotional. Physical stresses are things such as how many hours do you sit behind a desk, in a chair, standing, bending over, picking things up? What happens when you get into a car accident and there's thousands of pounds of metal that come together and you're somewhere in between? Physical stresses can be your child learning how to walk. How many times does your child fall to get back up and to fall and get back up again? Chemical stresses can also be neurotoxic stresses like vaccines and the flu shot. And at the end of the day, as I always say, do your research. There's some amazing places to go. NVIC.org, and also Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, where you can find her on YouTube. She has the most amazing information. Look for the interview that's about 2 to 3 hours long, and the information that she gives is amazing. She's one of the only medical doctors that has researched and studied over 6,000 hours on that topic. So I've got to tell you, information that could flat out save you and your child's life. The other thing that you want to think about as far as chemicals, what are you also drinking? Is the water you're drinking pure, or are you getting caught up in the diet soda, the regular soda, sugar and sweeteners in your teas and coffees? What about water that they've added flavors? Is that healthy and good for you? The other thing that you want to think about too is the environment that we're living in. They're saying that our homes are 100% more toxic than the environments outside. What are your cleaning products? What are you doing to make sure that you're living a healthy life? The next stress is an emotional stress. And I've got to tell you, emotional stresses create huge problems within our health. Many people believe that it was the physical stress, meaning it was the hitch in their get along that created the problem, the way they slept, picking up a box. But the reality is, most people, it's the emotional stress over time. What about relationship stresses, family stresses, financial stresses? You know, I had the most amazing grandmother. She had Alzheimer's for 7 years and lived in our home. That was a huge emotional stress over our lifetime. And what happens is that these physical, chemical, and emotional stresses over your lifetime build up and create interference in your central nervous system, which is the main organ that's created that you live your life through. It was the first organ created when you were conceived. How important do you think it is to your health? And when that happens, that interference to the central nervous system, it creates a muscle imbalance, and slowly over time your vertebrae move. And let me ask you this question. If for some reason those signals to your heart can't get the signal up to the brain, to the body, and back again, what do you think would happen? Do you think your heart would function not as well? Maybe a massive heart attack? Imagine what organs, tissues, and cells are not functioning the way that they should. That's why it's so vital and important to include a wellness chiropractor within your lifestyle. The main important vital need for your health is your central nervous system. It was the first organ created when you were conceived. Without it, do you really think that your health is abounding, or do you think your health is slowly breaking down? And we're here today talking to one of the most amazing chiropractors in the world. His name is Dr. Daniel Knowles, and I can't wait for you to not only learn some amazing information about him, but he's also created amazing group. It's called the Mile High Chiro Group. And he is here because he wants to empower you, your friends and your family, and chiropractors throughout the world to not only be well naturally, but to learn the philosophy and why it's so important that chiropractic's the main thing that you choose for your lifestyle. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and I can't wait for you to meet Dr. Daniel Knowles.
Christman Family Chiropractic, a creating wellness center located at 2310 Churchville Road, Suite C in Bel Air, is enhancing lives through the power of a chiropractic adjustment. As a licensed chiropractor in Maryland and Pennsylvania, Dr. Evan Christman can correct damage from years of lifestyle stresses while educating you to maintain good health for your lifetime. A dedicated professional with a very special focus on children with learning differences and autism, Dr. Christman treats people of all ages: newborn babies, children, pregnant women, families, seniors, and professional golfers. Isn't it time for you to reclaim your life? Take your first step toward health and vitality today. Call Christman Family Chiropractic, a creating wellness center at 410-734-4060, and let their experienced staff show you how to restore the flow of life. 410-734-4060, or check them out at restorelifeflow.com.
Good morning and welcome back to Wake Up to Wellness with Michelle Christman, and I'm so excited you're with us today. We're here to empower you, your friends, your family, and your loved ones to be healthy and well naturally. And the one thing that I love about health is that you were made to be well. You were made to function at a high level of health and vitality so that you can be the best you ever. And today we're talking to one of the most amazing wellness chiropractors in the world. His name is Dr. Daniel Knowles. Dr. Daniel, welcome to Wake Up to Wellness with Michelle Christman.
I am so grateful to be here with you, and every day people need to wake up to wellness.
Isn't that the truth? And I've got to tell you, I'm so grateful and thankful for you because you are one of those doctors that not only invest in yourself, invest in your community, but also invest in the world. It's so important for chiropractors to not only understand the philosophy, science, and the technique and the art of chiropractic, but at the end of the day, I think that the world really not only needs that message, but needs to understand why. So, Dr. Daniel, why are you a chiropractor? What led you down this path?
You know, I'm really glad you asked that, and I really feel we have callings in life, especially, and everybody has a calling, and they don't always listen to it. Especially healing art practitioners, they were called to do the work they do. And I feel really that was the case for me in a very special way. See, in my first 2 years of life, Michelle, a lot of people don't know this. I had 12 rounds of antibiotics in 2 years for ear infections.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, and two of the times I had to be hospitalized and almost died as a result of the medications because I was dehydrated and I had to be incubated. And it left me, well, you know this, if you do that to a child in the first 2 years, even though they're the best of intentions, what do you think happened to me for the rest of my childhood?
Oh, my God. So I can imagine that, you begin to see that body breaks down. And there's something that's hitting me as we're talking. You've heard of the Wyatt Lehman Foundation, correct?
Yes.
And, it's amazing because I've got to tell you, I have a little one. She's such a blessing in my life. She's a little over a year old. I do everything I can to keep her well naturally. However, most parents don't realize what that means. And in today's day and age, when there is a sniffle or an ear infection or something wrong, the first place people run to is
the
pediatrician.
Medicine cabinet.
The medicine cabinet, right?
Right. We all have it in our house, and I don't know how it got named that, but we all have this, cabinet. And if you call it a medicine cabinet, what do you think is going to end up in there?
Medicine. But in my household, there's actually an acorn in there from when my husband, when we first started dating. I keep little things like that. And you won't find medicine in my home. And it's not because I'm against it. It's because I'm for health. And so talk to me about, I want to learn more about what happened to you as a baby that's led you down this path of being such an amazing chiropractor. And I also want to talk a few minutes about Wyatt Lehman because people need to hear and understand that story as well.
Well, this is what it comes down to. The things, as I was listening to you open your store, healthy people make healthy choices. We were not led as to what a healthy choice was. So that left me very immune compromised through my childhood. Come 12, 13, I was always missing school and had challenges in that area. And by the time I was 12, 13 years old, that became very significant allergies. And very common, people have a challenge in one part of their physiology and immune system, and it turns into a different immune problem. And that was the case for me. So now my eyes were bloodshot. I was carrying tissues all the time because I was dripping snot constantly, and I was really pretty miserable. And my parents at that point said, we're not going to do the medication route anymore because it doesn't seem like he's getting any better. But when they stopped giving me things, guess what? It didn't make me any better.
Right.
It made me even worse because my body was used to that. So kids do things that they're not supposed to do, and unless I'm the only one that's ever done that. They find money around the house, and they go play video games or whatever it might be. I found money around the house, and I went to the drugstore and bought medications.
Oh, wow.
Because behind my parents' back, and they sold it to me without everybody even asking. I just picked what it could be. But realized if I was doing that 12, 13, what I would have done as an adult when it came to searching for answers when I didn't like how I felt.
Isn't that the truth? Oh,
right,
my God.
And that's what we do as a culture. So, but here's what happened. The blessing was this, that I'm to this day extremely, extremely grateful for, was a neighbor saw this, knocked on the door, and told my parents, you need to take this kid to a chiropractor because it's the largest drugless healing art.
Wow. And can you imagine how much it took, how much muster it took for that person to walk up to your parents' door to say that? And what a huge blessing. He or she totally changed the direction of your health in your life. So what's the next step? What happens to you?
Well, so they said, what do we have to lose? You know, he actually had never been to a chiropractor. He just heard that's what it was, and my parents didn't know what it was. He just said, I know it's a drugless healing art, and your kid needs help. So they took me, and within about a month, the allergies went away. It was amazing. And for that reason, my mom was, she was looking for a new career. She decided to go to chiropractic school.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm serious.
Oh,
my mom
wow.
said she decided to go to chiropractic school.
I love it.
Based upon that, because she was so amazed at how her child's health changed, because she had seen that through her whole life struggling, taking care of me. So that became, and then at that point, as she was going through chiropractic school, and we continued to go to chiropractors, I learned more and more about it, and it transformed my health enough. And I was always looking for a career, and then I realized, hey, wait a second, I love this stuff. I should do this.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And so I really feel it was a calling. I really feel so many people are living a life with a lack of health, praying for an answer, and do not know the gift that's within them of their body's capacity to heal, because I didn't know that. I was always looking for an outside solution at a very young age, because that's what we're taught. We're taught that we pay attention to the things that we feel in our body, and the things that we don't like feeling, we find a way to get rid of, instead of realizing that the things we feel in our body is a communication for us to make a change. When I was having the allergy symptoms, it was a communication to make a change, but it wasn't a communication to silence the messenger.
Isn't that the truth? And in today's day and age, as I always say, that the pharmaceutical industry, they pay $65.5 million a day in advertising to teach you that if you feel good, you're well, and if you feel bad, you're sick. So there's this huge paradigm that so many people believe that there's a pill, powder, lotion, drug, shot, or surgery for everything that ails us. And in today's day and age, the reality is, your body was still made to be well. Your body was still made to heal. And tell me, what's the power of this chiropractic adjustment? Why is it that when that body's allowed to function at a high level of health and vitality, that it functions more efficiently, that children that get adjusted stay well throughout their lifetime? What is it? What's happening there?
Well, I've got to tell you, I practice in a manner that I do think the chiropractic adjustment is incredibly powerful, the most powerful thing in the healing arts. However, I'm also at the same time very humble about it, because the power is really within the person, and that the person has an innate intelligence, an innate healing wisdom that animates, coordinates, motivates them, and makes their body do all the functions that it's supposed to do, coordinates millions of communication messages, a minute. I have to handle a couple hundred emails a day, and it fries me. But your body can handle millions of messages and communications for every single cell. You have 3 to 9 nerve fibers going to every single cell of your body, and that innate wisdom has to coordinate all that communication. And the power of the chiropractic adjustment is really the power that the person's body has in it, starting from the time they're conceived, that to keep their body functioning right. And when that power is interfered with, that's where we lose the ability to heal, function, and be the incredible gift, live the incredible life that we are meant to be. So really, the chiropractic adjustment is so incredibly powerful. It's powerful because people are powerful, but we've been told, lied to, diminished, told that we're not capable of healing, that we're weak, that we don't have this possibility of repair. We have to go to someone else who can find the solution to fix our weak body. And nothing can be further than the truth. You can look around the world, you can think of any single condition, you can find someone somewhere who has healed it on their own, which means that your body is just as amazing as that person, but has to make sure that it's not interfered with. It's the interference within that communication of your innate wisdom to the rest of your body that limits how your body can heal and function. And my view is always to remove that interference before, and make sure your body's functioning 100% before you consider doing any external action. And the reality is there's a time and place for those things, but first, make sure your body's working appropriately.
You know, I love that. And the body is so smart and intelligent. It's absolutely powerful. And I've got to tell you, the one thing that I think about is, could you imagine if parents understood this? Could you imagine if children were lining up at the chiropractor's office instead of lining up in their schools for dangerous medications? Could you imagine if they were lining up to eat vegetable and fruit smoothies and make great choices and decisions about their health because it's a habit that's being taught? Could you imagine if there was this vibrant health that we already have innately within us, that is part of what we are supposed to be? Could you imagine if parents remembered and knew that this is the way things were made to function and work? So we're going to start to talk about not only why it's so important for people to show up in a chiropractor's office to be well naturally and to bring their children, but Dr. Daniel, could you imagine if from the moment you were born, your mom was a chiropractor and she checked you, you were adjusted for the presence of those subluxations were corrected, the nerve system could send signals to every organ, tissue, and cell, and to the brain, to the body, and back again, and you got to be well. Could you imagine the path that you'd be on now? Do you think it would be the same, or do you think it would be something totally different for you?
Well, you know, sometimes our test is our testimony, and I have to say that even though that was a negative experience, personally, I'm happy that it turned out that way, because I wouldn't have impacted as many people's lives if I had been adjusted from birth, because I would have just thought of it differently. However, what you said is just so true, because every time I see a child in our office, I tell them, you are so lucky. I was 13 years too late. And I'm so grateful to be checking you, now. And I tell them that all the time, even though I've seen them, 100 times. And we always tell parents, the moment that child is born, make sure that the child is checked for nerve interference and spinal subluxations, because spinal subluxations limit them. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to do that. And we visualize a world where every man, child, woman, child experiences their life through a healthy nerve system.
Isn't that the truth? And that's why it's such a blessing to see children. And we're going to take a quick commercial break, because I can't wait for us to not only delve into Mile High Chiropractic, but also you've got to begin to understand, when somebody has a passion, when someone has a vision, when somebody has that ability to really change the world, they do big things. And that's what Dr. Daniel's doing. And I can't wait for you to tune in. We're going to take a quick commercial break.
Christman Family Chiropractic, a creating wellness center located at 2310 Churchville Road, Suite C in Bel Air, is enhancing lives through the power of a chiropractic adjustment. As a licensed chiropractor in Maryland and Pennsylvania, Dr. Evan Christman can correct damage from years of lifestyle stresses while educating you to maintain good health for your lifetime. A dedicated professional with a very special focus on children with learning differences and autism, Dr. Christman treats people of all ages: newborn babies, children, pregnant women, families, seniors, and professional golfers. Isn't it time for you to reclaim your life? Take your first step toward health and vitality today. Call Christman Family Chiropractic, a creating wellness center, at 410-734-4060, and let their experienced staff show you how to restore the flow of life. 410-734-4060, or check them out at restorelifeflow.com.
Good morning. morning and welcome back to Wake Up to Wellness with Michelle Christman. And I'm so excited you're with us today. We're here to empower you, your friends, your family, and your loved ones to be healthy and well naturally. And the one thing that I love about health is that you were made to be well. You were made to function at a high level of health and vitality so that you can be the best you ever. And today we're talking to one of the most amazing wellness chiropractors in the world. His name is Dr. Daniel Knowles. Dr. Daniel, welcome back to Wake Up to Wellness with Michelle Christman.
Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm so grateful to be with you and your listeners.
You are welcome. So, Dr. Daniel, tell me, we've heard your amazing life story and how you flat out not only changed your health in your life, you have the most amazing parents that care and love for you, but also how you've changed your community's health, how you take care of children, how you take care of newborns. And I've got to tell you, from what I understand, when you have somebody that has a huge vision, that they make big steps. And you have done this for our profession. Tell me, what are you doing?
Well, when you have a calling, it inundates every part of your life. It's not just something you do 9 to 5. So, it comes into every aspect of who we are and what we do. One, I am on the board of Sherman College of Chiropractic as a trustee in helping form the educational process there. I've published 3 research studies on chiropractic and its benefits and its changes in people's spinal curvatures and even things like vision. And I really have seen a lot, as people see in many professions, a lot of challenges in the chiropractic profession. A lot of chiropractors who are not being the practitioners that they could be because the chiropractic educational system needs to be strengthened. And so there's a lot of practitioners that don't necessarily deliver care to the level that, for example, you do in your office or that we do in our office, and really teaching people to live innately and to get innate chiropractic where their body can function without subluxation. So we decided that rather than cursing the darkness, that we want to light some candles. So,
that is fabulous. I love that. And I've got to say, I love Sherman Chiropractic College. I interviewed Dr. Edwin Cordero. He was amazing. I interviewed Dr. Neil Cohen. He was amazing, too. Let's not forget, who did I also interview? Dr. Jack, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Jack
he was fabulous.
Yep.
But I've got to tell you, it sounds to me that you do amazing things for our profession, and thank you so much. So tell me, how did the Mile High Chiro Group come to be?
Well, what happened was we decided that we saw enough challenges in this area and enough chiropractors that need to be dipped in the experience of how they could really practice, that we wanted to launch the Mile High Chiro Philosophy Weekend, so that chiropractors have a home. The chiropractors that want to that are dedicated to the chiropractic principles in the center area of the country. We're out in Colorado, and the surrounding states have somewhere they can easily get to, that they could get dipped in the chiropractic philosophy, and not just dipped, but immersed, and learn more about the ability of them to affect lives more, to impact people's lives more, and make more of a difference. Because if I'm going to affect more lives, I can only put my hands on so many people. And maybe I add another 50, another 100 or so a week. But if I can help more chiropractors do better in their own practices, then we can multiply that by thousands and thousands. And the world needs that. It needs more chiropractors. We have a shortage of chiropractors. There's not enough. We need more chiropractors that are doing incredible work to change people's lives, because there's a public that really needs them. So the Mile High Chiro Philosophy Weekend right now is an annual event that we have out here in Colorado, and we launched it. We launched it this last year and had such an overwhelming response that we're anticipating that doubling this coming year easily, if not more, because people are extremely excited about the opportunity to have this, because practitioners need this, not because the practitioners need it for them, but they need it for their patients. They need to be uplifted, to strengthen, to be better able to serve their patients, and the public needs it.
And tell me, what's the one thing, what can a chiro expect? What can a chiropractor expect to have as an outcome when they come to your group?
One a chiropractor can expect is that they have an above-down, inside-out experience, so that when they leave and they go back to their office, they are so much more strengthened with their ability to communicate, because when it comes down to it, when we're talking to practice owners, we have to communicate. We have to communicate the power of the body to heal, and we have to communicate the patient's needs. And without a strengthened communication system in your office, it's very hard to be able to relay to people the urgency, the importance of their care with the right loving heart. So I would say that the number one impact on them is that above, down, inside out experience, so they can better communicate chiropractic to their families.
Isn't that beautiful? And tell me, how can chiropractors reach you so that they can not only sign up but participate this, so that they can be even better chiropractors for their community, for themselves, and for their whole entire family?
Well, they can reach us, through the internet on www.milehighchiro.org. That's our website, and that has our events, which are growing. We're getting more of a demand to do more of them already. So milehighchiro.org, and they can find us on Facebook and follow us. We have a Mile High Chiro group, and we have a Mile High Chiro page, and exactly how it's spelled, Mile High, CHIRO.
That is absolutely fabulous. What is that final message, Dr. Daniel? You know, if you could inspire one person to walk through a chiropractor's office to be healthy and well, if you could inspire one person to bring their child in, what would that be?
That chiropractic is the largest drugless healing art. That's the message that person said to me when they knocked on that door. And we need new solutions. We live in a crazy world where we're exposed to toxicity in so many ways, and we have more stresses on us than we've ever had. And what worked in the past, 50 or 100 years ago, in terms of lifestyle, does not work today. You have to do better than ever and put more effort than ever into taking care of yourself and your lifestyle, and that starts with a chiropractic adjustment. So that would be the main message that I'd want everybody to know. Largest drugless healing art. Make sure your spine is working without interference.
And you know, when that occurs, when your nervous system that you live your life through can send those signals out to every single organ, tissue, and cell, up to the brain, to the body, and back again, health is abound. And that's why it's so vital that every single person shows up to their local wellness chiropractor's office, that they get adjusted. And I got to tell you, before we take that next step, simply get checked. I mean, just simply get checked to see if they can help. I've got to tell you, it's played a huge role in my life. It's allowed me to be healthy and well naturally. It's allowed my daughter to be healthy and well. It's allowed my husband to be well. And I hope and pray that it's allowed thousands of people that we have been a part of their lives to be well as well. And I also want to say that, Dr. Daniel, thank you so much for being on. You're such a blessing. How can people reach you if they'd like to reach you personally as well?
Well, they can find us. Our chiropractic office is www.networkwellnesscenters.com, and the phone number is 303-998-1000, and you can find us on Facebook at Boulder Chiropractor.
Thank you so much, Dr. Daniel. And you're listening live every Saturday to Wake Up to Wellness with Michelle Christman, where I interview the most amazing wellness chiropractors and celebrities throughout the world so that you can be healthy and well naturally. And you're listening to us on WAMD 970 AM, WYRE 810, WKHZ 1460, WJSS 1330, and you can watch me live every Saturday from 8:30 till 9 in the morning on KHZTV.com. That's KHZTV.com. Take great care of your health.
Christman Family Chiropractic, a creating wellness center located at 2310 Churchville Road, Suite C in Bel Air, is enhancing lives through the power of a chiropractic adjustment. As a licensed chiropractor in Maryland and Pennsylvania, Dr. Evan Christman can correct damage from years of lifestyle stresses while educating you to maintain good health for your lifetime. A dedicated professional with a very special focus on children with learning differences and autism, Dr. Christman treats people of all ages: newborn babies, children, pregnant women, families, seniors, and professional golfers. Isn't it time for you to reclaim your life? Take your first step toward health and vitality today. Call Christman Family Chiropractic, a creating wellness center, at 410-734-4060, and let their experienced staff show you how to restore the flow of life. 410-734-4060, or check them out at restorelifeflow.com.
KHZTV.com.